here. On our way out to the East Coast, we were staying at connections of friends, and Dave, he was trashing their houses and just really disrespecting stuff.
You know, we drank a lot. God, did we drink a lot. But Dave had a side to him when he was drunk that was not positive. I think especially Cliff thought that Dave Mustaine was just like out of his mind.
It was gonna bring us all down, and we had to put an end to it.
If you ever wake up and the other three band members are sitting, you know, within 2 feet of you, staring at you as you're rubbing sleep out of your eye, it's probably not a good sign. And that was what Dave awoke to that morning.
We had the bus ticket in hand. Dude, we've got to let you go.
Gave him 15 minutes to get his things together, and then put him on a bus and then back to California.
Probably not the nicest way to do it, but that's what we knew.
So me and James got roaringly drunk about 10, 11 in the morning and went sightseeing.
Start spreading the news.
We went to the top of the Empire State Building and just started drinking. And whatever that did for us, it helped.
That same night, Kirk Hammett came out from San Francisco, who was the lead guitar player of this band, Exodus.
When I arrived, it was about, I'd say 7 o'clock in the evening. These guys were just getting up. And I thought, wow, I like these guys.
He set up his gear. We played Seek and Destroy, and about halfway through Seek and Destroy, I remember me and James looked at each other and kind of just nodded, and we knew that it was the right thing.
They never really told me that I got the job or I was in the band, you know? I just kind of went along with the ride, and all of a sudden I had about, I don't know, 10, 12 gigs under my belt.
Kirk, when he first came in, he looked like a guy he was really shell-shocked.
Within the first 2 or 3 weeks I was in the band, I found myself getting in between Lars and James. I can remember us just drinking, and all of a sudden Lars and James getting into it. James pushed Lars, and Lars fell into his drum kit. And Lars got up and started running toward James and tackling him. And me getting up and going, hey, whoa here, guys, come on. Little did I know that that would be something I would be doing on numerous occasions over the next 20 years.
We have a debut album out on Megapush Records. It's called Kill 'Em All.
What Metallica did in 1983 was they delivered an album that went where others didn't go.
It was just so aggressive and so tough, and it's, you know, boys will be boys.
No American band ever sounded like that. And you had all these underground kids that all of a sudden when that record came out, it was like, this is our band. This is really our band.
We had a very, very pure vision back then. Just 4 guys who just loved to play metal.
We didn't think too much, we just did it.
We were just living in the moment.
We had the songs, we had the attitude, we had the fire. We were out to conquer the world.
Coming up, Metallica drinks to success.
Everyone was calling us Alcoholica.
We were proud of that. We're living the rock and roll dream, and we can drink more than you.
And later, they get filthy clean.
We would tell our tour manager, when we go off stage, we want the showers running and girls in there ready and willing to bathe us.
Next on When Metallica Ruled the World.
This is called No Remorse.
In 1983, Metallica definitely were heroes of the underground. Kill 'Em All came out, and they went out and toured, and people saw how great they were live.
We had about 35 dates with one of our favorite bands called Raven, and we went out and saw the United States for the first time.
I really can't remember much of the Kill 'Em All for One tour because we were pretty much inebriated 24 hours a day.
It was a bunch of 19-year-old kids who were basically given a carte blanche to just go out and rage and pillage.
Destroying dressing rooms, getting in fights, fighting each other.
We didn't know anything about touring at all in those days, but we know one thing, don't take a Winnebago out and expect to ever return it.
This poor Winnebago just died an ugly death.
The trailer didn't have a top when it ended.
It was probably the odor of all the alcohol that just killed it. I mean, it was crazy.
We're out of beer, pal. We're out of beer. here.
Everyone was calling us Alcoholica. We'd roll into town and, you know, I'd hear people screaming, Alcoholica. The name just stuck.
Cause if you don't start drinking, I'm gonna leave.
We were proud of that. We're living the rock and roll dream, and we can drink more than you.
For the most part, the booze just fueled those first few shows and then started fueling those first few tours.
We had to drink before we went on stage.
Getting warmed up.
I remember being fearful one night. Oh, I'm not drunk. What do you mean we're going on in 10 minutes? Oh, you know, trying to drink as much as possible. It's just crazy.
I just want to say cheers to all you guys and thanks for coming down and getting nutty with us, man. Cheers.
I mean, it got to the point where someone gave me a live tape and I was like, oh my God, that's us. That doesn't even sound like us.
We were out to drink and destroy. We'd come out of clubs at 7 in the morning. People are off on their way to work. We're jumping on the hoods of their cars at stop signs. Go to work.
The kind of stuff that we were doing just probably shouldn't be talked about in family television.
Shooting guns off at hotels, you know, in the middle of Hollywood.
It also involved a lot of other things, like partaking the odd female.
Back then, bands like Metallica, you know, Anthrax, Slayer, the girls were kind of few and far between. And maybe it's because of what we looked like.
I'm too sexy for my shirt.
God, they're ugly. You know, it's a bunch of ugly guys.
We looked like we were 7-Eleven employees.
They can rock, though.
1986 was when Master of Puppets came out, and then they went out and did that Ozzy tour. And that was when they went from being a really amazing underground club band to being a band that could go out and play arenas.
It was unbelievable to be sitting there with Ozzy every night, playing to 15,000 people.
I'm there, Coliseum.
The place was packed. I'm looking around, and they all had Metallica shirts on.
Everybody was headbanging, and somebody tore off the seat cushion off their seat, and they threw it at the stage. And so everybody started doing it.
It looked like piranhas attacking a ham, you know what I mean?
I've been to probably a couple hundred concerts, and this is the only concert I was ever scared at.
And when it was time for them to leave, to get off the stage, everybody kept chanting.
This is the Ozzy concert, right? Like, Ozzy's definitely coming on.
They were blowing Ozzy off the stage. I mean, they were just a monster band.
We were out to take over the heavy metal scene.
We were just having fun. You never actually got a chance to think that there was anything else that could be.
We were with Ozzy in the States till late May, and then Europe after that.
Until next year.
Yeah, we're pretty much on the road.
It was a night like most of the rest of them on that tour. Play a show, hang out, drink, and stumble onto the bus.
That night we were in Sweden. We were on our way to Denmark for a show.
Me and Cliff were the last two people up. I went to bed before he did. The next thing that happened was I just remember hearing these loud noises.
It wasn't an earthquake, it was the back wheels of the bus jumping.
The bus flipped and was rolling.
And I thought, oh my God, we're going off a cliff or something.